Bonjour, Kinamagi and Ireland Indigenous, and welcome to this overview of our Week 7 learning plan. In today's episode, we'll begin on our stream page. This page is available to all students at all times and is updated with important notes and documents that can and should be shared with parents and guardians. Many of these documents are also emailed home, particularly in the case of newsletters and week at a glance documents. The first one up here is we do have October's breakfast and lunch menu. Students were sent home with a hard copy. I believe there's also a copy on the website, and I'll keep a copy here. We have this week's newsletter that came out on Tuesday ahead of our field trip that we had. Last week's learning plan, ways to contact me, how to sign up for Epic. One thing I want to talk to you is a feature on the student end, where when you get to classwork, how they can see what they have to do. Using my Ojibwe class as a way to look at it, there is a to-do button if you click on the waffles here, or actually these are pancakes. That's a waffle. That's a pancake. My bad. So you click here and there says to do. And you can check for missing assignments. Now, because we do most of our work on paper and pencil, it will not always show up here. Student very easily could have done with Gawin conjugating Ninawind, Ginawind, and Ginawa. Obviously, this isn't their assignment. But it gives you a spot to say, hey, have you done, and open a conversation. If we were ever to go more in the nature of remote due to circumstances, then this would be a very useful tool. Henceforth, why I decided to show it to you. Particularly with math, we do that in class, but if a student's absent, they are welcome to complete an assignment using the Google Classroom. So let's pick a reading one. So let's say Susie was absent on Monday, and Susie doesn't want to fall behind. So they enter their Google Classroom, find here. They could read it. They could watch a video of me reading it and discussing it. Then they could also answer the questions. So it does allow for students that are home. I do run a Zoom every day, and students are welcome, if absent, to join it and view what's going on, even if it's in and out. Never expect a student to stick around for recess and lunch or during gym, but they can pop in and out. Students may also use the YouTube videos that are attached as a way to check up on a lesson and say if they didn't understand it, or if they were not feeling well but felt better in the afternoon, to kind of go over the work and have a better idea of it. All right, now looking at the actual week at a glance for this week, let's make it a little bit bigger. This is week 7, believe it or not already. And we're going into a new section in Support Coach, and it'll begin with Let Freedom Ring Act 1. We'll also be having some Scholastic and some Friday independent reading. Writing, we're continuing on Unit 2. We have a free write in there and a makeup day. This is based off of our Writing City. And you can access Writing City very easily by going under Writing. And I'll just click on one of them. The link is the same. And then once a student gets in there, on the home page, it'll show up ones that are incomplete. Math, we're continuing on a chapter on division. Math facts are a concern. I encourage students to consider grabbing some or making their own flashcards to really kind of get that automatic recall of math facts, and that'll help them in division and fractions later on. No tests this week, but one quick quiz. Science, we're going to be looking at the Mystery 5. Social studies, we're going to move over to a week discussion of Africa, particularly the kingdoms of Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. Those are all West African empires. And then we'll quiz on that at the end of the week. Our math review and enrichment will be reviewing prime factorization, multiplication tables. We'll be distinguishing between lines, rays, and segments, and also equivalent ratios. Our math review and enrichment is an opportunity to expose students to things that might come later in the year or maybe next year, or to review things that as a group we may be struggling with, or to provide extra practice. Our tech this week is pretty straightforward, although on Tuesday it's a 21 things for students, a chance to make up items. And 21 things for students is found in our class page here, and it's under tech. Students can click on there. It takes them right into that activity. You can see it opening up. That's the orientation. We're on basics, which is over here. And then we've worked through the first three. If a student jumps onto one, let's say it was navigation, one thing I do ask is that they select the student checklist on the right, and they've been shown this in class, although practice does make it easier. Then if they get to here, they'll go File, Make a Copy, and then click OK. And then they should share it with the mireland@psychchipschool.net. Helps me keep track of what they've completed. The idea with the tech class and work is to help those students be just as ready as possible for our transition to middle school. Our web blog, we continue with ST Math being available. Handwriting, independent reading, which is scheduled during the day, but if a student's absent or on a weekend, it's always a great idea to read for 20 minutes a day. Citizenship, which is our review of the U.S. citizenship test, as a way to prepare students by giving them additional civic information. And then Words Their Way, that's our spelling program. We are moving into week 3. It's very easy for students to access. They can visit out of our Google Classroom. They will not have all of these, but they will have theirs. So if they were working on derivation or relations, that's the one that's there. They click on this link, they log in, and then complete the tasks and submit it there. All of those will be completed within that resource. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me at mireland@psychchipschool.net. Hope you all have a minogishigad. Minwa Bamapi.